party, because that's what we do, man. Speaking of which, I want to get a little Crestone Air Force going out here this summer. If any of you guys are thinking of relocating here or recently relocated here, this is an excellent recreational opportunity. We'll have to develop a few bucks here to facilitate it, but why? We can do that, babies. We're gifted and creative. Creative, yes, indeedy, man. Besides that, we'll get the government to do it for us. That's what everybody does. Anyway, I want to build up a little Crestone Air Force of truly divine angels that have wings, but sometimes resort to these rudimentary things we call ultralight airplanes. And we'll get about a half a dozen of us, and we'll put together some real pretty airplanes. And, you know, we'll do daily flyovers in Crestone just to let everybody know how much we love them and how protected they are by the Crestone Air Force, the biggest heart they ever saw in the sky. We'll even fly in heart-shaped formations and so forth, man. I mean, you know, we're here to demonstrate the ability to fly that goes way beyond what you and I are already doing. You know, we can do it in an even broader scale, in an even grander way, but you know, we have to start somewhere, so why not there? You know, it's an idea I have, one of those that's kind of finding its own formulation as time goes on, but it's one I've always been fascinated with flying. I gotta admit it, you know, because I knew I could fly, you know. But somehow we got all weighted down and we're hanging out here on the ground. So airplane or a hang glider seemed to be the next best thing. So I did a little hang gliding in my time. And I've done a whole lot of airplane flying in my time. And I've done more than a few of those little ultralights too. I love those things, man. They're fun. As long as the wind ain't kicking up too bad, you know. You got to do those definitely in milder weather. And around here, that's mornings, man. You know, afternoons, forget it. It's buffety, man. You know, there's like, wow. And rip one of the little planes apart, man. You don't want to be flying in that sky. But mornings, oh yeah. Just the right time for it, you know, and this is just the right season, you see, coming up on me, springtime in the Rockies and all that, yeah. So anyway, it's an interesting thought. I just put the energy out there and then just kind of let the imagination roll into it and create it, man. You know, I'm learning to do things this way, you know, and in this way, we'll get this earth far more organized, you know. You know, which brings us around to the subject of the pot thing, which, yeah, it's kind of a joke. But at the same time, you know, each of us plays a part in a role. And if we are casual about our experience with that, whether we smoke it or indulge in it in any way or not, if we are just casual in our attitude about it, and we believe more or less in our heart in a live and let live situation in this world, well, it's obvious that those laws will come undone. Much in the same way as I think, you know, we can create gatherings and little Crestone Air Forces and things like that simply by dreaming it into being in this heartfelt, centered sort of way, consciously present in that creation, not dumbly visiting a dream, but consciously present in that dream and allowing it to create according to the dictates of your very own little heart. There is power in this. This is where everyone becomes the Pope of Pop Mary Jane's right-hand man and woman too, man. You know, we're all in that together. That's where we all take that long ride. You know, when we remember how it is that we create in this moment and we see it flowing, then we begin to understand how it is we recreate the earth. It's not through political action. It's not through taking to the streets, though we are going to make many powerful demonstrations of the power of love, the power of the human heart, and the power of redirection, when given through that human heart in its most creative aspects. Yes, we will, and be doing many of those in places you'd never suspect. And, you know, of course, as a result, you know, changing the sway of the hearts of all the people, because that just helps augment it and bring it on in. When you're living in a truly creative way, you don't need social protest. You need a demonstration, a gathering, yes, a party to celebrate life and to show everyone the power in it. So you can gather in desert places or mountain places or country places. You don't have to be in the cities where they're all ready for you. They've got their armies and their weapons, and they just want to destroy anyone that will resist. So you don't resist. That's smart. You gather in places they least suspect, and you influence from there the places that all this nastiness has chosen to infect. And you purify it, man. I'm telling you what, we can turn Wall Street overnight into a bunch of saints. people that wouldn't steal from one another if they had to, let alone from the people, etc. You see, we can change the practices of many, many lifetimes just by allowing ourselves to sit together and recreate the dream and just make it so. You want legal pot all over the earth and people to quit being harassed and thrown in prison for participating in the glory of the sacred herb? All we got to do is dream that into being, in this powerful and creative way, the unity of heart. So let's just give you a little demonstration, which we're already experiencing anyway, but let's just focus our attention on it and see where it goes, you see. Inside of our heart, there's still a little divine desperation, that thinks it can overcome this world without direct action, that which wants to cause the big revolt. There's still those elements alive inside of us, you see. But we just embrace those and say, ooh, babies, look at it. We can do it this loving way, and it's far more fun, you see. You understand what that means? It's a gathering. It's a gathering. More intimately close than anything you've ever experienced before, little body. Don't you understand? This is the way we grow. You want to put an end to your loneliness and all of your pain? This is the way we grow. This is the way we gain. We don't go chasing after one another and try to trap each other into situations where it becomes domestic disharmony and so forth. No way. We gather in groups of family, people of energetic hearts. Yes, indeed. And we gather in these small groups and we create these little energy circles of love that demonstrate the power in life to change things. And we just continue to create in this way as these circles get ever larger and larger and increase, quite substantially. With the passage of time, by midsummer, we ought to be all living in a state that could only be called divine. Perhaps even in 2 weeks, who knows? Maybe one day, one moment. We're in this moment now. And we're already creating those gatherings, these reunions of heart, where hearts recognize one another for the energetic flow that they are, the soul group of which we are all present in. But each of us has our own little designated harmonic frequencies that we work in, that we operate in. That's our little specter in the entirety of reality, you see. But in that little specter is the fullness of it all as well, of course. But this is what we're here, learning to experience the fullness of creation and allowing that then to erupt from us in a far more harmonious way by gathering together with peoples of like frequency, of like heart. And you can call it of like mind and soul if you want to, but the presence is the heart, and that's what draws us together. And even in moments like this, as we experience the unity of our own very heart with one another here on this Coyote Medicine Show, we share that experience with the many hearts around us. That they begin awakening as well, because we're all the same being, the same person, replicated and duplicated a gazillion times over in all of this creation which fills us and surrounds us, and all of its varied forms and differences in activity, man. That's such a beautiful composite picture, the tapestry of life, I call it, glowing and glittering and just shining like the sun, man, because we are the sun and the mother. Joined, the father and the mother together as one, the same as the earth is. And her two sons, one inside and one outside, are not truthfully separate. We've lived in the land of separation, and that's why we see it that way. But as we continue to dream and dream it back into being what it truthfully is, well, the sun from the sky dissolves and becomes a part of you and I and all the rest of this creation. This is the source of light. We are not little emissaries of darkness, though we've sure been made to seem so many times over. That's just roles we've chosen to play. But this is what we're undoing, right here, right now, in this very day. The very idea that any of us can reside in darkness or be a darkness. There's pain, there's contrast. There's reality, and there is then the release of all pain, because pain is the illusion. Pain is based in separation, the idea that you are alone and you yourself, as an individual energy and person, must deal and contend with all of life's little mysteries as they reveal themselves in quite savage ways in your life. No, this is not the way that be. No, Then you're always stuck in resistance, personal resistance, all these valiant battles you fight that just help eventually wear you down and kill you. And really don't accomplish that much, but when empowered by your heart, they do. Even if you're approaching it that way, if you've got the heart in it, baby, you're an unstoppable force on this earth. You can go after senators and congressmen and military leaders and so whatever. You can go after anything and be successful at it. But it doesn't necessarily have to be created that way. Unless there's some need to point out to the people their creative powers, then you can do it this way. But in these soft little circles of love that we create with, let's call our spiritual cousins for lack of better name, but they're really brothers and sisters and more than that, the same heart, the same as what we're experiencing right here, right now on this Coyote Medicine Show on this Hazy Radio Network. Babies, we're in it. You see, and in this state then, just remember what this feels and looks like inside. Remember this and kind of fix yourself in this moment in that way. Focus there. So you remember what the energy's like so you can keep returning there and begin this great gathering of your spirit family together with you, the same as we're doing here between all of us at this moment in time on this little radio show, man, this little morning wake-up call, the Coyote Medicine Way. Oh, yeah, that's what we're doing here today, getting some Coyote Medicine underway. See? And this is the reality beginning to demonstrate itself. And this is how it'll be in ever-increasing circles all across this earth. As we reformate our entirety of existence, borders and boundaries and tribal differences and shit such as this just passes away quite a natural death and transforms right before our very eyes. As we begin to experience the unity and oneness in all. This is what we're here to demonstrate. And in that is the ultimate power, and there is no other power besides that. This is the power to create. Kind of the opposite of what we've seen here, the power to destroy. What a divine little illusion that is, you know. Even the urge behind it that says we must destroy. You see, there's a little something sick about all that, and a little retarded too, but yet it's an experience that us retards had to go through in order to find our genius, to remind ourselves we still have a heart. Sometimes you'll lose the most precious thing to you just so you can regain it. And when you do regain it, you know, working your ass off more or less, don't have to now, but that's the way it was, well, then you find great appreciation for it. Haven't lost it, haven't felt it at first, very empowered, haven't lost that empowerment, haven't gone to those dark places and really been cruel to yourself. Man, when you come back to life, when this heart says, look, I never left Jack. You just chose to live me that way for a moment so you can remember to appreciate, to find gratitude for what you felt absent from. And boy, as it returns, that gratitude arises. And see, then you empower yourself more greatly in creation. It's really pretty simple. You just have to see life as this kind of flow. It really is that simple in every situation that you have faced, that you are facing, or that you will ever create for yourself. It's all about remedy and solution, not an increase in difficulty or pain. It's about a reduction to the point of zero in the pain. It's about a re-emergence of the heart-conscious presence in all beings that live, and all equally empowered in that living then. And therefore that which is most beneficial of all is that which comes forward in reality. So that's why we can, in our joking sort of way, announce the release of free energy financed by the Illuminati, and in another way mean it entirely, for it's a truth. It's already in place. It already exists because we dreamed it that way and empowered the angels to be that way. And the angels work then in secret little chambers to cause this to be. You see, there are no real secrets. Everything is known. No one can hide anything. The entire universe is watching, is participating with us in each and every life. Nothing can be hidden. You may think so. You may think you're hiding it really good and you're really wise for it. But that's a false reality. And that's another thing we demonstrate as we gather in these little circles. But even as ourself, we're entirely powerful. We're gathered with every circle that is. And we can affect these same changes as a person because in union with hearts. See, when you remember this feeling and you union with his hearts, it's not just you working it out, but everyone else too. Then things get done and things start to happen here in a very rapid way. And the evidence falls into place right and left, and you can no longer deny the true energy of your united heart. Imagine the power then as we unite with all, as we remember that we are united with all. Imagine the glory in creation we're about to create then. A return to our paradise indeed, because we feel it right now inside. We know it right now inside, and it can do nothing but grow and dissolve away any energy of seeming opposition, anything that might slow us down or step up to the plate and try to smack us a time or two, etc. No. We're living in that glow, which is the flow, which is the sunlight in the mother's heart, the arousal of the divine feminine, and then some, man. In each and every being that lives, it's not a gender thing. It's a human thing. And it's not just a human thing. It's a matter of creation, of all of creation. Reintegrating itself into life, because the original assemblages of energy that created it all in the first place are assembling now. Here on this Coyote Medicine Show and all across this earth, in different ways, through different groups and different energies, but it's happening all over the place. It's going to cause us to let go a lot of our preconceived notions about what life is and how to live it. I mean, to the very basics of, working for a living and so forth. Patently absurd, totally insane. And it puts people against each other, you see. We're moving now in ways where the communion is conscious, where the knowing of the heart is present in everyone, and therefore the things we do to produce and create and take care of ourselves, done in a far more harmonious way that doesn't involve economy or trade, but is simply a matter of sharing the gifts you come here to share, and doing so creatively. And in union then with your spirit family, that was the same energy field that you live in, babies, and the larger field that we all live in. Baby, it all comes undone, and we wind it back up with a journey in the sun, the warmth of the heart shining radiantly beautiful. The sunrise in your heart, as I call it here quite often on this Coyote Medicine Show. That's exactly what we're here to undergo. It's what we're doing right now, bringing that sunrise up in our heart, baby. Letting the light shine in the places that have been darkened and dimmed down forever, it seems. Those little facets of our heart, the true person that we had to hide away from so long, but we always kept it alive inside. We even nurtured it. We even let it come up and thrive every now and then. But for the most part, it's been put away. But on this day, no longer shall that be. We have set ourselves free. Free to live in the truth of our own cosmic mystery and in our own cosmic way, because we see it in communion with all hearts that be, and then therefore in harmony with all of this creation. This is how we end the age of abomination, the age that would destroy us all, the dark times, the uglier times, the meaner beings arising, and so forth. Grand and dramatic roles indeed. Impact on worldwide scale and beyond her by quite a bit. Yes, indeed. Yet at the same time, just a part of the unraveling of the divine mystery, so that we can understand all aspects of our being and presence, and therefore creatively apply them throughout creation. So there is no longer this sense of division, or ever a sense of low self-worth, or lack of self-esteem, etc., in any form of creation, in all of life, or that one would be above another. No. All completely united in a uniform and equitous field of life that we describe, yes, as the big old donut, the spiral torus as it's called, that's ever expansive, with us at the center of its creation, embodying and empowering it through the eternal heart that lives in each and every one of us, in unity with all that is, the same as we experience right here in this now moment. Darlings, we're here to set one another free. This is what we're doing. Yeah, unwinding all of that mystery. You feel the unraveling, the melting down inside. Just continue this way. If something flares up, quench it with your love. Let that come forward and embrace the unreal aspects of yourself, and you'll find them, learning to cohabitate far more creatively inside of you. You see, that's been our biggest errant way, is allowing the energies inside to feel separate, and therefore participating in struggle in every moment that we live, basically. That's how we've been derailed from our consciousness. We've been given a busy task of trying to resurrect the dead inside of ourselves and return it all to the land of harmonious living. Well, essentially, and at the source of our person right now, this is what we're doing. If you need to describe it in that kind of terms, in a kind of spiritual religious term, but the reality is, it's just us recreating ourselves, understanding our own heart. Therefore, the heart allows us to be as we truthfully are. It recreates the entirety of our person, too. You can feel the genes and atoms moving around inside and changing rapidly, can't you? Well, imagine what the rest of the presence will do as we all continue in this flowing way. See, these are the days we waited for, when reality begins to demonstrate itself. And that's the simple truth, the simple reality that we're living in. And that's the real news here today on this Coyote Medicine Show, given, of course, in this Coyote way, which demonstrates its power to you again today and forevermore. In those powerful Elysian fields of love shall we play consciously. Yes, indeed. Because we have indeed and are indeed setting one another free forevermore. Yeah, unraveling all of that mystery, even the mystery of our history. It's all down the drain. It's all coming back to life, blossoming like a son of a gun. The phoenix effect, and then some. Conveyed once again from 9,000 feet high in the Rocky Mountain sky, from this beautiful but somewhat humble spaceship love, baby. Given by the grandfather of love, who's the grandmother as well, because we're all joined together. It's androgynous, baby, no matter how we be genderized in the outer expression. The inner expression is the same form, the same person, the same heart. You're not so different as you might have described yourself even a few moments ago. You're getting back in the vibe of the tribe. Coming back to life, in other words. Because you're realizing your unity. And that puts an end to all loneliness and all the desperate activities that take place, all the obsessions that take place because of that, and all the horrible activity that goes on because of our obsessive tendencies in that past time. Past is past, and it don't last. Not anymore, not here on this Coyote Medicine Show. Only on the Hazy Radio Network, baby. It's Grandpa Coyote, the old grandfather coyote himself, dancing with you like we ain't never danced before. Because we're here and we're evening up that score.